Thank you everyone for joining this Lunch and Learn call. My name is Ove Tenberg. I'm representing Roima today. We are strategic partners to Bears for many years, and we provide software solutions specifically for manufacturing companies. Today we have 30 minutes and we are going to cover a couple of quite heavy topics, so I'm going to keep it on a very high level. We're going to talk about the trends in discrete manufacturing. Most of you come from that industry. We will talk about something called product digital thread and why this is the right way to go. I'll give a couple of examples of that as well. And then we will talk about the return on investment for this type of solutions or investments. And at the end, we have perhaps time for some Q&A. But like Madison said, please enter your questions if you have any in the meantime in the chat. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and just give you a few words about where I come from. Roima Intelligence is a European software company providing specifically solutions for manufacturing companies. And we have a suite of applications. You can see them in the lower left corner. Applications covering PLM, product lifecycle management, warehouse management, ERP functionality, mostly production. We have integrated business processes and some other applications on top of that. So all these are spearhead products within the portfolio. My background is as a founder of one of these products, Part One, which is an e-commerce platform containing everything you need for online business, B2B mainly, but also configure, price, quote, and collaboration with sales channels. So we'll get into that a little later. We are an international company, offices in 5 countries. We are about 400 people today, mostly customer-facing people, product managers, application consultants, salespeople, and about 500 customers. And our business ranging over discrete manufacturing, but also process industries and logistics. So with my 30 years in this industry, my experience is that when I meet a lot of manufacturers, most of these manufacturers are very frustrated over the lack of consistent data in their systems. There may be duplicates, there may be slow manual processes, and they cannot really make use of all the technology that is available out there. So there is a room for improvement, to be honest, in this industry. So this session will cover some examples of how you could improve your production capacity, your bottom line, and be happier. So I'll continue with a little bit of history. And if we start 1784, that's when everyone says the industry revolution started. That was the starting point for what we now see happening around us. And then from that point, every 100 years approximately, there was some new revolution in some way. Mass production, assembly lines, electricity, for example. And then 1960 or 70, we saw some automation solutions. Computers came into play, electronics. And from that point, I think some of us in this call can remember from 69 and forward what has happened. And it has been fantastic. It has been an explosion of new technology and opportunities. And some of us may remember when Excel came. 84 was more used maybe in 95 and forward. But that was a big thing for many companies, storing data, sharing data. And then from that point, the development of technology has improved dramatically. And we all know what has happened with mobile, Internet of Things, networks, all types of innovation, AI. But I can see that most companies I meet do not make use of those opportunities. So the gap between what technology can offer and what typical manufacturers are utilizing, that gap is getting wider every year, actually. So I think there's room for improvement, and there are many things that could be done to help you out in your daily work and with your processes. Sorry. So let's take a look at what companies are doing today. And maybe your competitors are doing this as we talk here. So these are interesting things. A lot of companies within discrete manufacturing are focusing a lot on production and products and communication. For example, within the factory, digital twins has been very popular. It means that you can create a representation of your physical factory in a digital form, so you can actually monitor and control your factory from this digital twin. And you can predict what's going to happen. You can simulate happenings. If you want to test what happens with a pump, when a pump explodes, it's better to do that in the simulation. So that's a great advantage, to be able to run simulations and see what happens if. So that can be used for many purposes. Machine learning, AI, we all know what that is. It's something that will make a revolution within in many businesses, not only discrete manufacturing. And some people talk about automation and dark factories. It means that you actually think about replacing humans with robots, and you can shut the light off, and you can turn the heat off and run it cold and black day out and day in. That's not reality yet, and maybe never. But robots, of course, are or cobots, as they call them, complementary robots. They are already reality. If we look into to manufacturing of products, the same thing applies to products, that you can actually create digital twins out of products. It means that you can follow a product from the birth, when it was manufactured, until the end of life, and when it's recycled, probably. And you can also use the digital twin to predict maintenance when it's needed. So it's data-driven maintenance or predictive maintenance, making it possible to guess when it's time to send out a spare part, for example. And it's also possible to use Internet of Things to actually let the product itself report that it needs to be replaced. A good example could be air filters, for example. So the device could measure the pressure drop and report back that now it's time to replace me. And that could potentially generate the purchase order and a delivery to that site. So a lot of things are happening, and it's going fast. But the question is, applications are available. All what I'm talking about, listing here, is available. The problem seems to be the data, and I'm quite sure that it's the problem with access to relevant data, to clean data, to consistent data. That is the main thing. So therefore, another key trend in this business is to work with so-called digital threads. And that means that you can actually streamline all the data necessary for those processes, and make sure that that data is clean, it's structured, it's consistent, and it is available for all the applications that need that access. So a lot of work and consultancy hours are spent on building through digital threads. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples here, what I mean with this. So if we take the product digital thread as an example, of course you can create several different types of digital threads. For example, the production digital thread, everything needed to control and monitor the production site. In this case, I'm going to talk about products and how we can track and coordinate all the information and actions made to that product. So if we take the image in front of us here, and I'm sure you can all recognize what it is. It's the life cycle for a product, from the starting point when somebody has an idea of manufacturing or creating this product. So they may start in the CAD system and create drawings, specifying all the details, quality, material, and all that. And eventually they will build up a complete set of product data specification. You will start to source the components and make sure that you can access them or buy them as cheap as possible. You need to calculate the margin and come up with a sales price. And then you need to create marketing material, you need to do some pilot testing and so on. And suddenly this product is ready for sale. And when somebody sells it, there will be a demand, and you need something to calculate what to purchase. So there needs to be some kind of optimization in place to manage that demand. You get your components delivered into your warehouse, so you have a warehouse management system, and then you start to manufacture this product, and eventually you will be able to deliver that to the customer. And you may, if it's a complicated product that needs service, you may sign a service contract with the customer, and then you offer service. And now this is a new product, so of course there are errors or problems with it. So somebody will call you and say that I have a problem with this product, I need a spare part or a service. And then you can go into the system, you will find all the details, you can suggest a replacement part, and you can deliver that, and everyone is happy. And this sounds good, and this is approximately what a typical ERP system is supposed to do. It will contain all the functionality you need for this process. It will also hold all the data you need for this process. And it will exchange the data between the different steps here and make sure that it's consistent. But reality is a little bit different. This is not how it works in reality. And that's what I've found out talking to manufacturers for 30 years. So a typical example would be that now this product that has been manufactured is quite complex. It may be configurable. And suddenly somebody calls a salesperson and wants to buy this configurable product. This salesperson does not really know what is possible to build. There's no good documentation on that. So before he can answer this request for quote, he needs to contact the engineer. And the engineer is from 1985. So he is sitting on an Excel sheet. He owns that Excel sheet. He's the only person knowing how to use it. And there's where the configuration logic is stored. So the engineer is on vacation now for 2 days, and no one knows how to validate the configuration I'm looking for. So when he's back, I suddenly get an okay from the engineer, and now the next step is to calculate the sales price for this configured product. And of course, that is not available either. So you have to look it up somehow, and probably also in an Excel sheet. And then you need to get an approval from the sales manager, and then you're able to deliver that quote 1 week later. But the customer says that, sorry, I didn't get the response the first day, so I actually called a competitor, and I got a complete quote within 1 hour, and I waited another day just to give you the chance, but then I decided to buy from your competitor. So you lost that sale due to bad data, bad processes, and siloed data stored outside of the main flow on somebody's laptop or on somebody's table. So this is the reason why it's not possible to easily set up a digital thread like this. You need to think about the data management, how to maintain data, how to control it, how to clean the data, and you also need to make sure that you have all the applications in place to actually deliver that functionality or that end result to the end customer. So you typically need to add additional applications to an ERP system. It means that you also potentially add another database which is not connected. So in reality, you have a lot of applications in your system or in your environment, and you have data in several places, duplicate. And an even bigger problem would be when you deliver service in reality, that this configured item fails in some way, and somebody needs a spare part. And the customer calls customer service, and no one can answer on which spare part they need because it's a custom product. So they need to dig into the production information and maybe call some engineer, and then they may find which spare part to use. So if we, of course, there's a solution to this, but I'm just going to explain a little bit what type of applications that you typically need for this type of functionality. So let's say you have an ERP system, Epicor in this case. You would normally have all of these functions inside your Epicor system, but you may not have the PLM, product lifecycle management. So that is something you would need to add if you want a digital thread, completely covering the lifetime of a product. You may not have a CPQ, an online quotation and pricing module that can be accessed by your customers directly or by distributors or dealers. So that may be something you need to add. And you may need some improvement in the production. So maybe the manufacturing execution system needs to be sort of complemented with some additional functionality. Or the warehouse management, or the optimization of your inventory or your purchase quantities. So typically in a situation where you have an ERP system, it could be modern, you normally need some additional functionality. And when you do that, you need to make sure that these additional applications actually fit into the digital thread that you already have, or may contribute to that digital thread. And in the case of Roima, the company I'm representing, we can actually do exactly this. We can give you a digital thread as a complement to what you already have. We can add those additional features that you're lacking, or features that you need to lift to the next level. We can provide that. So if we take a quick look at the type of applications that we provide to manufacturers, a PLM system where you can start already in the CAD system, register all of that, or integrate to the PLM system, keep track of that product throughout its life cycle, and keep information about everything that is happening to that product during the lifetime, including service jobs and things, maybe replacement of a standard item or component into a new component. So next time you need a spare part, you know that it has been replaced. A CPQ solution for online configuring is something that we can provide, totally integrated to Epicor. Also providing the spare part information we talk about, also covering engineer to order, where you have a custom product or a piece of equipment made for a specific customer. That could be handled by this application, communicating real time with Epicor. The same goes with manufacturing operation management and manufacturing execution. The same goes for warehouse management, that we can provide that extra level of functionality and integrate to your digital thread, or providing a digital thread. The same with business planning, it could also be added. So in total, the Roima solution could be to add individual solutions where you need them, provide full integration to Epicor, and also integration between the different Roima products. So that is a way forward. And as mentioned earlier, the main thing here is to have great data. And if somebody is capable of helping you with data crunching, it's Codaverse. They know Epicor inside and out. They can absolutely help you with anything you need to streamline the data flow and to actually get access to the data that you have in Epicor. And of course, also update Epicor with data from outside using the API. But just to describe the Roima offering, we have a suite of products that could help you with your digital thread. They have a lot of things in common. One of them is that they are all integrated using something called Roima Wire. It's an integration platform that creates this digital thread and the data flow, and it's also integrated to Epicor. because we can read Epicor directly on field level, and we can also update Epicor using the API. So out of this portfolio of applications, you could improve your current system and actually create this dream of digital thread for production or for manufacturing of products. So if you see here the list of application types that we provide: WMS, online e-commerce with configure price quote. We have PIM, which is let's call it a lightweight version of PLM. It's a product information management system that can keep track of product information, documents, images, videos, anything you like to be able to sell that product, something you normally use for online e-commerce. We provide full PLM, covering everything from CAD integration to end of life and recycling. We provide inventory optimization, demand planning, everything you need, also including simulations. You can actually simulate purchasing and optimize that. And we have everything you need for improving your manufacturing processes. Just a quick view of the different applications. And in the lower right corner, you can see the ROI, because that's the main thing here. How would you justify investment in something like this? How would you pay for it? Well, the ROI is really dramatic. In the lean system case, McKinsey has said that about 40% typically you will increase the production capacity with about 40% due to the better or more improved production planning. So this is typical for this type of solution. Pareto integrated business planning will typically reduce the working capital with about 20 to 40%. And as you can see, if you're a quick reader, you can see that many of the things we talked about as key things for manufacturing companies today, like digital twins and so on, these are parts of the capabilities of all these products. The 8 on PLM is also something that will contribute to your return on investment, 15% typically, overall operational efficiency. WMS typically will increase the efficiency with 10 to 20%. And Part Trap, online quote order entry, able to handle spare part management and configurable products, is capable of quoting instantly or ordering instantly even complex configured products. So the example I talked about with this customer asking for a configured item, that can be handled instantly. And typically for spare part sales, the fact that we are online 24/7 increases the spare part sales just because of that simple fact. But also by offering real-time information about stock levels, availability, and also access to engineered custom products and the right spare parts for that product, we can reduce the incorrect orders down to zero. And also, since the customer himself is selecting the products, it's less likely that the wrong product will be sent. So if I summarize this and talk about the ROI for manufacturing advantage, that's actually where the name Roima comes from. So that's easy to remember. So if you summarize what we can contribute in different areas of or different segments of the digital thread, I think it could be interesting for a follow-up call. And of course, we are available at any time. Our suggestion is that you contact Codabears and ask for a meeting where we could discuss your specific situation. So you're more than welcome to set up a call with us, and we'll tell you more and demonstrate the applications in real life.
Want more Codabears Lunch and Learn? Check out our channel for more videos or contact us on our website for registration information.